go to the NFL. We've had some interesting debates. This one could get ugly. The New England Patriots, a team you love this season. You know, Mike Vrabel's in as head coach. They have a lot of cap space. And guess what? They are closely monitoring two contract disputes. Terry McLaurin in Washington and Micah Parsons in Dallas. Now, this is smart business for New England. Hey, we are open for business. We've got money. McLaurin, you're unhappy. Washington, we would gladly take him. Or Micah Parsons. I would guess both of the chances of these happening are very low, but it is a new era in New England, that's for sure.
Terry McLaurin would be a perfect wide receiver for Drake May in New England. No ego, grinder, productive. I mean, you cannot. That is, if you could pick a wide receiver for a young quarterback, McLaurin's like top two. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Terry McLaurin would be my first two picks. Now, they're both super talented. I'm not saying they're the most talented, but you're getting an adult, uncompromised, route tree, grown up, work hard, great teammate. You and I have both loved McLaurin. This guy is exactly what everybody wants to get a productive receiver. You got to get baggage with a lot of them. This guy's a total pro.
But everything you just said is like Washington. Why would you let him leave Jaden Daniels? When Jaden Daniels was rookie of the year, unbelievable, and McLaurin had his best year as a pro. Like, you got your quarterback on the rookie deal, just sign him. I don't know really what's going on.
Well, because Washington signed Debo to a big deal. So do you want to pay two receivers huge money?
Your quarterback's making nothing. And
I know,
only in year
but
two.
Generally in the NFL, I mean, some teams do. Devontae Adams, well, no, they moved off Cooper. You don't want to pay two receivers. You want to pay one receiver and then hopefully draft the position well. It gets difficult because you don't want to have two hyper-expensive guys in one unit.
Okay. That's not 100% accurate. And the Philadelphia Eagles proved that to be the case. And I think it's okay to look at the team that just won the Super Bowl as a good frame of reference. Also, Debo, to my knowledge, his contract is more of like a 1 year type deal. I think it's like in the 20s or something, so it's definitely a chunk of change. But it's not like it's like a long term, like they're on the hook for Debo for the next 4 years or something like that, unless something changed. But that's, to my knowledge, that's what it was. And so I think my gut tells me all of, like, with the Commanders and Terry McLaurin is more like they are thinking kind of long term, and they're thinking, listen, these wide receivers, like, you know, Terry is technically getting up there in age. You know, he'll be 30 by the start of the season, and they're thinking this guy wants a lot of money and he wants a long-term contract. The odds of it aging well are probably not the best. And that's what I kind of made my argument before, where it's like, if you feel like you can win now, and you can win a Super Bowl now within these next couple of years, you'll have to take on the idea then that a contract won't be great in year 3 or year 4. And it'll be okay. Especially if you win the Super Bowl. It'll be okay. It'll be okay to maybe, I don't want to say overpay, because that's kind of like the wrong term here, but essentially just not have your contract age great. You know, I mean, like, it just is what it is. And it's bad when you don't win, when you do it and then you don't win, and then you're kind of stuck because now you're in like year 3 or something, and you're like, well, we're not winning, we haven't won the Super Bowl, we're overpaying for this guy who's no longer as good as he once was. Now what do? The contract's hard to move. Like, you back yourself in a corner. But I think that's just when you have someone as great as Terry McLaurin has been. He's been with the Commanders for a while. Like, it's also another thing if, like, Terry wanted another contract somewhere else. Like, he played for a completely different team, and people were trying to have the conversation, oh, should the Commanders, you know, make a play for Terry? And then you could be like, I don't know. And then I could understand maybe some of this. But, like, to me, he's already embedded with this franchise, already has immediate success with Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels. It's really both of them. Everyone's speaking the same language. Like, I'm just of the camp of just kind of get it done. But I do understand, because on one side, when you're looking at Jaden Daniels, you're thinking, we're not paying him any money right now. Let's do everything we can. Let's win. Let's make these moves. But you're also thinking, we have a quarterback as great as Jaden Daniels. We can win. We have to be really smart that we don't mess these things up. We cannot lock ourselves in bad contracts that don't age well. We have to be smart. We have to do, like we have to be cutthroat. We have to be ruthless. We have to be strategic. Again, to use the Eagles as an example, it was like they went out, drafted Devontae. They said, hey, we're building a great team here. We need another wide receiver. And they made a huge play and went out and got A.J. Brown and paid him a ton of money after Devontae played great as a rookie. And now having both of them is just, as important as it gets, combined with Dallas Goedert and Saquon, etc. So it's just like, I don't know. It's it is almost a little bit more stressful when you have a quarterback as great as Jaden, because you're just like, we have to do this right. We have to make these right decisions. But you can also get yourself in a little bit of a trap too, because a more doomsday scenario of this going terribly wrong is the Commanders being like, all right, Jane Daniels is so great. Terry McLaurin's great, but like, you know what? Let's not back ourselves in a corner here. Let's kind of move on from him. Let's see what we can get. Let's free up some more cap space, etc., etc. And we're looking at the big picture here, And the big picture doesn't necessarily work out for them in the immediate moment. And now Cliff King, now you have to try to draft another wide receiver, which is just kind of going okay. You have some guys, but not exactly what Terry was able to do. Cliff Kingsbury now takes a head coaching job. I've been on this since last year. Before they even took a snap together, I said they're going to be awesome together. They're going to be successful together, but it's going to be a short window of time because Cliff Kingsbury is going to get redemption. He's going to want to be a head coach. I believe that will happen. And so now Cliff Kingsbury leaves, and now you're going to have a new OC in there. And it's just like you kind of start a little bit more muddled of a journey now when you have kind of like your peak perfect scenario. You have the weapons, you have the maturity, because also you say, drafting a wide receiver, you want a veteran too. You don't necessarily want some young guy. You want someone who is going to ball. That was the benefit of bringing in A.J. Brown. Technically the Eagles could have drafted another wide receiver, but they're like, let's get this guaranteed receiver who we know is great, who we know is going to have a lot of success, who's also, at that time was still pretty much a legitimate veteran, who, well, we know he's going to show up in big moments. We don't have to question that. Sometimes you're paying for that. And sometimes it's the right place to spend your money, rather than just trying to find another Justin Jefferson in the draft or something. So, I don't know. You could outthink yourself here. I'm not even going to address the Micah Parsons thing because I don't know. I mean, listen, it's funny because obviously I believe big time for the Commanders and Jane Daniels and what this team can do. But I'm also looking at it from an entertainment perspective too, from like an outside looking in, and I'm kind of like, man, if the Patriots get Terry McLaurin and Micah Parsons, like that would be awesome. Like just from a straight up entertainment perspective, I'd be like, that's sick. Like that is fun. Like that is fantasy football, Madden, like, whatever. I'm like, all right, like Patriots, let's go. Like it makes the Patriots immediately must-see TV. What's going to happen? How is this year going to unfold? Where are they going to be? For me, the Commanders are already must-see TV. So even if they didn't have Debo, if they didn't have McLaurin, like I'm still like locked into every single game. The Patriots, I'm like, yeah, they seem interesting. I think they'll be decent this year. It'll be kind of interesting to see what they do. But if they go out and now make these big splash moves, it's like, oh gosh, I gotta watch like every single second here. I gotta be zoomed in, and I'll already be prepared to know like I'm making a lot of Patriots videos this coming season. I'm already making an insane amount of Commanders videos, so like nothing they need to do, nothing that could happen could move the needle for me, for the Commanders, quite frankly. So, which is why this take here, I'm making a Commanders video and not a Dallas Cowboys video. Or even a Patriots video for that matter. So, I'm already locked in to the Commanders as much, but yeah, this is something. A lot of Commanders fans are going to immediately try to be like, this is nothing, this is noise, off-season noise. It is something. I really do believe that. I'm not saying the Commanders are going to move on from him, but it's obviously, there's obviously some hiccups. This should be done a lot more easily. And these things can fester, especially for a player who's been with the Commanders for a while If he doesn't feel like his needs are being met, things can kind of go one of two ways in that regard in terms of the mentality. One, you can kind of have a baby mentality, which a lot of players do have, where it's kind of like, I'm upset, I'm so angry, I can't believe this team is doing this to me, this is ridiculous, and then they get paid and they're happy. They're like a kid, right? It's just like, I hate my parents, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, and then like they buy them like an ice cream cone, and they're like, I love you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And a lot of players do have that mentality over money, getting the ball, whatever it may be. And other players who are more mature, even when they do get what they want, they're kind of like, that was too hard. And it sits with them. It's just kind of like, okay, I see all the things you're saying to me, and when we have our meetings, and when we have, when you send me texts and emails, and what you tell my agent, this, that, but like, I see you for who you are. You keep saying we're family and we're this, we're that. It's like, no, we're not. This was brutal to get to this end goal here. We got there, and I'm happy and I'm grateful, but like, I don't see you the same way. And like, those things matter. They legitimately can fester, and it changes behavior, it changes mentality, it changes what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. And so, I don't know. And then I guess there's maybe, I don't know. We'll have to just kind of continue to wait to see how this unfolds, but it is going to be July. We are getting closer and closer to the actual start of the season here. And this is just not stuff you want to deal with, especially for a team that could have like legitimate Super Bowl aspirations here. It's just, anytime you have something that's a little bit extra messy, it can often just affect your team down the road. I do believe that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Washington Commanders potentially trading Terry McLaurin to the New England Patriots? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.